That's why I love gambling.
Oh my god.
The highs are high.
Yeah. Did you see Uncut Gems?
No.
Oh, that shit was good.
I've heard it's really good.
It's really stressful. It's like high stakes gambling that like should not be done, and it's like you're watching it happen. There's like guns involved, and you're just freaking the fuck out the whole time.
Hell yeah.
I think that actually turned me off gambling because I was like, this is too much.
You just relate it too much. You resonated
I
with the
related so
characters.
much that I was like, I too am buying gems from Ethiopia.
Wait, I should watch it. Ethiopia's involved? I'm in.
Ethiopia is involved, and Jews. And you love Jews.
That's my favorite.
Both kinds of people.
Yeah, it's my favorite people. Yeah.
There's two kinds of people, Ethiopians and Jews.
Yeah, you gotta pick a side. Ethiopian Jews don't exist according to the
exist.
state of Israel. So
Oh my god.
I feel like there's a time in every Jew, like white Jew's life, where you first hear
Good
like
save.
put the Otis on that white and just slip the Jew in right after.
There's a time in every white Jews.
it's gonna get so much worse. There's a time in every white Jew's life where you realize that not every Jew is also white.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the first non-white Jew I heard about was like Ethiopia. Someone was like, "Did you know there are many Ethiopian Jews?" And I was like, I want to meet them. That's awesome.
That's a nice response. That's a beautiful response.
I didn't know anything about like Jews at all. Like literally, because like in Sudan, they're just like Jews. And,
Oh yeah.
And then I moved here, but also didn't know any Jews in North Carolina either. I like recently, I'm like learning so much about it, like in New York.
Do you remember the first Jewish person you ever met?
I remember. I know someone in. Oh yeah, my friend Alex from high school. He was Jewish.
Okay.
I remember going to his place, and I was like. He was like, yeah, we're Jewish. I was like, what kind? Is that like a flavor of white? I don't fucking know what that is. Like, what are you talking about? You look white to me.
Yeah.
And then he was explaining it to me, and I was like, I mean, I've heard of it, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see anything different, really.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he wasn't practicing. So I think that's the biggest thing.
I see.
And
so you didn't go to the real Jew.
I didn't. Yeah. I didn't hit the vein. You know. Yeah. I caught some residuals, but I didn't get the main stuff. Yeah. We had a
You
temple.
got the splatter from the Red Sea.
Yes, that's exactly. Yeah. We had a temple though. We used to take exams in the temple.
Really?
I don't know why.
Like statewide tests or things like that?
AP tests.
AP tests,
Yeah,
right.
we take them
okay.
in the temple.
In like the basement or like the way they would
No.
rent those out or no?
No, it was just like in the.
Oh,
I
just
don't-
in the regular
Just like
space.
huge halls. Yeah, I don't know. They were just like it's kind of like a convention center almost.
Okay.
Which
Multi-purpose. Okay.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
sick though.
That's awesome. I feel like I took all my tests at like the ugliest buildings. I would have loved taking them in a temple. Maybe I would have gone to Harvard.
Well, you know, I didn't
It's
even
a
put it-
crazy thought to think like how different your life would be just on like the location, just as simple as like the location of a standardized test you once took.
Yeah. I remember taking the exam there because I took physics, and our teacher would literally swear to God we would watch MythBusters one day a week for a class every week. So we learned nothing. And like on the exam, like the IB exam, I literally like the last paragraph, I was just like, this is the worst teacher I've ever had. This is why he sucks. He didn't teach us this. He didn't teach us this. Every question that I had that just then I was like, he didn't teach us this. He didn't teach us this.
It's
he
iconic.
didn't teach us this. Yeah. And I just start drawing. Yeah. So I was like, what the fuck am I? And you have to be there for 4 hours. So you just have to sit there and let your mind wander.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Just remembering
no.
MythBuster episodes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, the penny one, that was a good one.
5 minutes in, this came slightly relevant.
Yeah,
Just like-
yeah.
I love the idea that it's like a one of those teen movies where like the things in Mythbusters like help you solve the test in the end.
Yeah. Where it's like you didn't know that this was gonna be, of value, but it's gonna connect to the storyline later in some weird way.
It's the exact opposite of Slumdog Millionaire, where your whole experience answered to nothing.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. It's like clearly the director just wanted to have this scene in and had to make it make sense, so he connected it later on to the storyline for no reason.
Yeah.
It's just that.
You think the writer of Slumdog Millionaire like had a similar experience to you? Just teachers like did such a terrible job, and then just one test and just everything bombed. He was like, I'm gonna do this right. I'm gonna make it so that, and then I win money.
Yeah.
Because I was watching Field of Dreams the other day for the
Lucas
first time.
is obsessed with Field
I'm
of
obsessed
I've
Dreams.
never
with Field
seen
of
this
Dreams
movie.
now.
I've been recommended it.
It's a great movie.
Recently. I don't
It's a
know
great
why.
movie. But yeah, it was so clear to me, one, that it was written by a man. There's no way that. I don't think so.
Which one is this? Is this where like the white ladies frolicking through like the mountains or something?
No, that's Sound of
No,
Music.
that's Wild.
That's yes. Yo, this shit wild. I don't know about this.
Reese Witherspoon's walking through the mountain like, holy shit. Yeah. This is wild.
She's like, this shit is great. Y'all know
And then
about
she
this?
turns to the camera like, that's the title of the movie.
That's so awesome when they do that in movies where they're like, this is wild. You're like,
Wink.
all right, dude. Yeah.
I love it. More of that. More of that. A Slumdog Millionaire. I wish the guy had been like, so I guess I'm just the Slumdog Millionaire.
I would have burned that movie if they did that.
Oh, guess I just built the Field of Dreams. Wink.
Yeah. No, but in the movie Field of Dreams, like Kevin Costner, he's like quoting baseball statistics from the 1920s to his daughter who's like 5 or 6, and she's like listening and intently like taking in the information. I'm like, this would never happen. Like, I loved baseball when I was that age. I used to play Little League. There's no chance that information would have gone straight over my head.
Yeah, I like
Not a
baseball,
chance.
not statistics.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just math.
From like the 20s as well?
Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah, Willie Wilkerson hit a first.
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't know.
Those
You're like,
are
no,
the,
he didn't.
Yeah.
those are the names. Baseball names in the 20s were there was a guy Nap LaJoie.
Oh hell yeah. That's so funny. Like I loved like sports back then because it's just like everyone was just a part-time janitor.
Yes.
And then they were like, yeah, at 5 I'm gonna go play for the MLB. And it's just
I
like
know.
Jesus.
Right.
It's because they like didn't really pay them.
No. Yeah.
They would go play, and then in the winter they would just like run a convenience store.
Yeah.
Like Joe DiMaggio, I think worked at like a sandwich shop for
That's
like a while.
so
I could be making that up.
I love the idea that he died working at that shop.
He's got like all the trophies behind him.
Yeah. He's like, I
He
gotta
used-
make rent.
Yeah.
He used a baguette as his bat, and it swung and hit him in the head. That's how he died.
Hit a fresh mozz with it. Fucking knock it out the park.
My mozzarella.
Well, I think we should introduce our guest and
Yes.
say welcome.
Welcome to Two Nosy Meerkats.
Welcome back. Do you want to introduce our guest? Do you want to do it?
I do, but first I want to say hello, everyone. We have a supercast.
Yes.
It's like a Patreon, but different. And you should sign up for it to get exclusive bonus content, including content we're going to record with our guest today. Lucas, will you introduce our guest?
I can indeed, even though I asked you to. Moving on.
I will do it. Then
No.
I'll do it.
All right, okay.
I
He
just
is
took
a-
up so much air, and I was letting a man have space.
And thank you for that.
I can say it. He is a fantastic comedian, actor, writer. You know him from his sketches on social media, particularly TikTok, where he's built an amazing following. He is the co-host of Garlic Renaissance with friend of the podcast, Daniel DeLuti. Give a round of applause for Momo!
Oh, see, I did it. I
You
helped.
did it.
Hello.
You did.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hell yeah. Thank
How are you doing?
I'm vibing. This coffee's hitting.
The
Nice.
coffee
Very
is
good.
It's
hitting.
hitting
Yeah.
the mainstream.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
When did you start drinking coffee? I remember very particularly when I did.
Oh, interesting. I think
What was it like?
I think high school. I think like
Whoa,
the
you were
stress
early.
of
Yeah.
the stress of like school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Made me start drinking coffee, and yeah, I immediately became a crackhead. Like immediately, I was like, all right, 2 coffees a day. Like now, this is how I live. And then I stopped for a while in college, and I was like, oh, it doesn't make that big of a difference
Yeah.
to me. So
Yeah.
because I was consuming so much of it that like when I just stopped, I was like, oh, I'm just back to normal.
Right.
And
No,
then-
yeah. They
yeah.
say you should either drink it all the time or never.
Yes.
You shouldn't dip in and out. It
Yeah.
fucks with you.
Yeah.
I don't have it so much for. Do you have it to like jolt you awake? Is that
Always,
a reason?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't have it as that.
It's unhealthy for that reason, but nothing about the way I live my life is like good for my brain.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just abuse myself. My body is just.
What else
going
do you
through
do?
it, bro?
What are your vices?
Vaping all the time.
Vaping.
Yeah. Started with cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my dad caught me when I was.
Really?
Yeah.
What
How
was
old
that
were you?
like?
I was like 17, right? And I was in the backyard. I was smoking a cigarette. I thought I was slick, because everyone thinks they're slick. And my dad like walks out and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Smoking a cigarette." And he was like, because I think he had the moment where he wanted to be a dad and be like, "You can't do that." But he's also smoked cigarettes his entire life. I used to buy him tobacco, so like he can't really
Aw.
like
Was he just like, here's some money, go to the store?
Yeah,
It's
in
like that?
Sudan,
Yeah.
literally, it's just like he's like, go across the street, go to the
Right.
stand, buy 2 bags of tobacco, and bring them back. So I'd like do that. So it's like he couldn't do it, so he just looked at me. He was like, it's bad for you, and then just walked away. I was like,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you.
Oh, so he wasn't like, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna smoke the whole pack. He wasn't like that.
No, because I was 17. I would have smoked the whole pack. I would have had fun.
Okay.
And I think he would have probably joined in at some point.
Would have been like, come on, you're doing it wrong.
I would've-
You're not even inhaling. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
Let me join you.
My dad's like, yo, you know like any cool tricks?
I can blow smoke rings.
Yeah.
Can your dad do any like tricks with like smoking?
No, he stopped smoking. He stopped
Oh, he
smoking a
did?
while
Oh,
ago.
oh, that's
Yeah.
good. I'm
Yeah.
glad.
For
Yeah.
him, yeah.
Good on him.
Yeah.
And then when was the transition of vaping?
That was the jewel. I think the jewel that caught everyone.
Ah,
Yeah. I got caught up in that jewel heist at the car wash.
Yeah, I
were-
was there.
We were trading jewel pods.
Oh, yeah.
I used to literally, when I'd find customers that have jewel pods in their car, I'd be like, you don't even have to tip me. Can I take that pod? They'd be like, yeah.
Oh my
sick.
God.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. You were running a hustle.
I was running a side hustle. Yeah.
What's your favorite pod?
Well, mango, but it got discontinued a long time ago.
The
Oh, yeah,
answer
the-
was two Nosy Meerkats.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The new flavor sponsored by Jewel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they killed Jewel.
They did
They
R.I.P.
killed Jewel. That was the one that got them because they were like, oh, you're making them fruity, and then teenagers are smoking them. So that's why they had to get rid of all the like fruity stuff.
I mean, they are really addictive. Like I've told this story before on the pod, but I like remember I had a Jewel for like 3 days, but I had to stop smoking it because it was so addictive that I was in a TJ Maxx vaping.
Oh yeah, I'll like sometimes I'll just inadvertently just find myself hitting it on the subway, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Dude, just fucking have some decorum, Jesus. you
Other
know?
than being really cool.
other than trying to get puss.
And they're all lining up.
Yeah,
that
girls like,
Jewel? Mm.
Yeah.
Is that a fucking elf bar I spun?
The elf bars just came out of nowhere,
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like.
That's
And
what
they're
I'm
just like those neon, like radiant I'm like, what are we doing?
That's what I'm rocking now. Yeah,
You are? Yeah.
I'm rocking the elf bar.
Can I ask, was there ever a point where you were like smoking or vaping looks cool and that's a reason I'm going to do it? Was that ever a factor?
No.
Okay.
To be honest, it was like my first cigarette was like a drunk cigarette.
Okay.
And that is greater than any orgasm I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
The first
Really?
drunk cigarette is insane.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So that's what I was
But
like.
don't do it,
Don't-
listeners.
No, don't do it.
Don't do
don't
it.
It's bad
do
for
it
you.
if you don't want to have a good time.
Be
So,
like Lucas. Abstain.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't want to feel what Nirvana is, don't. do it. So
Be like Lucas and have no fun.
Don't
Yeah.
reach the next level.
Yeah.
Don't.
yeah, no, you're gonna die at some point, but don't experience things.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You're going to die, but don't do it too soon.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I smoked a cigarette once. It was for a short film I did in college, and the moment I
That's,
like,
by the way, the worst reason.
it's
Yeah,
what
I
it's the
agree.
reason I have. It's what I got.
Oh
But can I tell you that when I did it, I was like, I totally get it.
yes.
I did it. I was like, I so could see myself getting addicted to this so easily.
It's so fun.
My mom, all my uncles, they smoke, and I'm like, I knew when I was a kid. I'm sure I've said this before that when I was like 4, I vowed that I would never smoke because I saw my uncles and everyone doing it.
Yeah.
And I knew that I would be like them and get it. And I tried it. I was like, I'm glad that I tried this because I have a little more empathy for people that do it habitually. I used to judge them a lot, and now. But yeah, I was like, I'm glad that I had this one cigarette. I'm glad I did.
Now you know at least.
I know what it's like.
I was the same way when I was like, I'll never smoke. Like, I remember my dad smoking. I was like, I'll never do this. And then, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
And
life
then-
gets in the way.
And then you're
It
like,
does.
listen, there's a reason for everything, you know? That's when you start
Everything
saying
happens
those
for a
like
reason.
grandma quotes where like everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
That's when you start.
Sponsored by Elf Bar.
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Elf Bar. Life is unpredictable.
Elf bar. You got trauma to unpack. So let's
Elf Bar. Because if I have another cigarette while drunk, I'll be too happy.
I'm gonna be so fucked up for bridge.
Elf bar. I just got curved at this party. Time to hit it. It is the best because cigarettes are also the difference between vapes and cigarettes though, because vapes are definitely more accessible, right? And it doesn't feel as harsh. The smell was the biggest thing that made me switch to vaping because I would smoke and I'd be going to class and I would like reek in class.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'll just vape instead. And then I was like, oh, I could also vape in class. And then I was like, I'm consuming a lot right now.
Yeah. Too
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah,
Too
way
easy
too
to
easy.
do.
That's the thing. It's like I have it in my hand. I can whenever.
Right.
And that's
What does it look like? Show me. Oh, so it's cool.
proud sponsor.
Yeah.
Either we get sued or they just use this for free advertising.
Yeah.
But either way.
There's nothing wrong with that. You see what he's holding up? Nothing wrong with it.
Can I tell you that when I was in Edinburgh, everyone vaped there.
Yeah.
And everyone had like that giant sort of battery that's like super clunky and like
Have you seen the in Europe they have these like cigarette vaporizers almost where it's like this like big thing and you put a cigarette in there and you smoke it and I think it's still the cigarette but it's like vapor. It's weird because it's like wet almost. It's
a hybrid?
I don't know what the fuck it was. I remember when I was in Italy, a lot of people had that, and I was like, just fucking smoke the cigarette, you know? Because I think the thing is, it wouldn't have the smell. That was it.
So you have a cigarette. What does it go into? What
It goes into
describe the mechanism?
Like like literally, it looks like a portable battery almost.
Okay.
You like put the cigarette in here, and then you smoke it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is it sort of like that thing of like putting like a filter on it, or like that like you have like a toilet paper tube and then you rubber band a dryer sheet on the end so you could like exhale? Is it sort of like that thing to like disguise the smell?
Maybe, but it wasn't even like that. Like it was like the cigarette would go into the machine, then you would pull from the other side. You wouldn't pull the cigarette, you pull something else from the other side.
Okay.
Like it looked like almost like this vape.
Yeah.
But like you would put a cigarette like in here or something, and then you'd smoke from here.
All to get rid of the
was
smell?
weird.
I like the smell. It reminds me.
A cigarette e-bong.
Yeah. Almost like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like just weird though. I was like, why? Like
I've never
just
even heard of this.
be a man. Just
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Just be a man, ruin your body the old-fashioned way. I feel like cigarette smell reminds me of like I had like family members that used to smoke, and I'd smell them, and I'd be like, America, you know. Like,
America.
This is what we do.
God bless America.
Yeah.
just collapse.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
cigarettes as a young lad.
Young
that was
lad.
one of the vices. Yeah,
What was
Yeah.
what was the point that made you go, I need to switch? It was the smell.
it was a smell. Yeah,
It was the smell, yeah.
and then it became just accessible because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is easier
Right. Of course.
because you can keep track of jewel pods wherever. You can just buy them anywhere. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the same as cigarettes, but like,
Can I ask, like, if you're out, you're drinking, night on the town, other substances, you never know. I don't know. I don't
never
know.
know.
I didn't say anything or see anything, but if you go for like a snack or something, what's your go-to?
oh, are
If
we
you're
talking
like, I
New
need
York?
to eat something.
New York.
In New York, yeah. I
Chopped
need
cheese.
Chopped cheese.
Oh,
Chopped
fuck
cheese.
yeah.
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 100%. That's the only time I allow myself to have a chopped cheese because other than that, it is just degeneracy.
Yeah,
If
it
you get
really
a chopped
is.
cheese while the sun's out,
Oh,
you gotta
You're
go home.
so
You gotta
right.
move back home.
I kind
You
of
gotta
respect
leave the
someone
city.
that does that. That's someone who is not lying to anyone, including themselves.
But that is like you.
But your truth isn't good.
You are damn
Yeah.
life is rough. Like if you are getting a chopped cheese at high noon, brother, just go apply for unemployment because you're not gonna have a job for long. It's not gonna work out. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, today I got my 11 a.m. chopped cheese.
Did you actually?
No,
Oh.
of course.
It
I
is
would have believed you if you said yes.
I know.
No, it is.
And that's sad.
It's ungodly. It really is. That's too much. How do you operate for the rest of the day? I'd pass out on the subway.
Yeah, yeah.
that grease. I love
The
the
grease-
grease.
but
I
that-
love the grease.
Do you have it? But do you have it during the day or at night?
I have not had one. I had one during the day because I'd never had one before, and I was like, let me try this.
And how'd you feel after?
I felt great.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
Grease
Lucas-
doesn't affect me.
But Lucas is a machine. It's different.
yeah.
Have you seen this man rock climbing?
No, you're rock climbing.
I like
He's
rock climbing.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm quick.
It's because he's all bone.
Yeah.
So he just clangs around the wall.
He just fits into the crevices. He just
It's so nice, but it really is impressive to watch. You're like, how is he
thanks.
doing this?
That's sick.
Bone and noodle.
It really is like, the truth is, it's because I don't mean this to like as like a brag, but it's genuinely I don't weigh that much,
Yeah.
Brag.
and so it doesn't take a lot of strength to pull me up.
Yeah. I guess
Yeah.
that's true.
I remember one time I was at Lee and Maxim's like old place, and people like Caleb and Sasha Von D were there, and people just took turns picking me up. And I think this is okay to say. Maybe we need to like cut it out. But when Sasha picked me up, he was like, "Lucas, you're like a girl."
I was gonna say they were just taking turns on you.
He liked it.
The
He
whole
liked
the
it.
whole crew was running the train on
Yeah.
Lucas.
They were running a train of just lift Lukey.
Of just lift them up.
Yeah.
the big train in the sky. Beautiful.
They're just taking turns like over under, trying to figure out how much you weigh just by like
Yeah.
140, I think 140 maybe.
I feel like
Too
Lucas,
high.
you weigh like what my boobs weigh. I feel like.
Have you ever weighed your boobs?
No, I haven't, but I have dense boobs.
You have dense boobs. Okay.
That's the thing about
Dense.
Jews.
Really?
They have
They got big ones.
They
have
do.
big ones.
They got big
Yeah.
ones. Yeah.
They got
Have
hitters.
you ever watched Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, the show? There's a great
Oh, she has a song called Heavy Boobs.
there's a great song in it called Heavy Boobs.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess I won't sing it now, but you guys should
They
look
each
it up.
have their own memoirs.
So,
I remember it was a pretty good song.
but it really gets like the experience of it right, that like you could whack someone with them.
Yeah. There's a comic, I forget her name, but she has a joke about that where she's like, I got 2 boomerangs on me. Can hit you with these. Yeah.
I like when Sharia talks about the titty nunchucks.
I think
Oh,
I think it's
yeah.
Sharia. Yeah.
You ever hit someone with the titty nunchucks?
I remember there was someone who I saw audition on like America's Got Talent once who like crushed cans of beer with her
With her
tits.
boob. I remember this
Yeah.
lady. Yes. Yeah.
So can they just do anything on that show?
You really kind
You
of
really can. Yeah. I mean, if,
You kind of can.
if whoever they're casting
You
agent
can do
is-
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Listen, you trying to make it in this business? or
Yeah, it's
what?
true.
Yeah.
I will do anything.
You want to get big?
Anything. And by the way, ditto. I will do anything. What's your shitty brand? I'll plug it.
I don't care what it is. I will sell your sugar bear hair vitamins until there's a plot point on The Bachelor right now about this girl who like went on the show for followers on Instagram. And The Bachelor is mad at her because he's like, I'm here for love. But I'm like, do you not understand economic insecurity? Like, people are making
Oh,
a
yeah.
ton of money
Yeah.
being on this show, and then they're gonna like pretend they like you for 5 weeks, and then they're gonna be financially set for the rest of their lives.
Right. Also, like, you came on a show for love. That was your plot. That's
You
what
actually believe in this?
Yeah. You're a good-looking, probably rich dude that they picked because they were like, oh, he's charming enough that 20 women will fight over him.
Yeah.
You
You,
don't
think
think
they like you as a person?
Yeah. You can't find love on fucking 4th Ave. You can't just walk down the street and find love. You could probably if you put in a little effort, man. I don't know.
I know, and he's like 26, and he's obsessed with finding.
Makes you wonder how bad of a person he is. That's what
Yeah.
he's been reduced to.
Also, yeah, what the fuck has happened to him? Like, get Hinge, bro. Like, it's not that hard.
He keeps saying, "I want to find my best friend," and I'm like, "Do you not have a male best friend?"
This dude sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I remember
tell.
I remember on like Love is Blind. Did you ever watch Love is Blind?
No, but I've seen parts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There was a woman, I forget which season, but she was like, I went into this experience looking for a husband. I found my best friend instead. I was like, how does your best friend feel about this watching this?
Yeah. Wait, so that
Just
guy.
being like, 2 weeks and you have a new best friend?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about the actual guy. No, that's hilarious. Yeah, her best friend before the show. She's
Yeah.
like, "Bitch, I signed you up. The
No,
fuck?
just her best girlfriend. Just
Yeah.
being like, dude, what the? I'm here. What
I
the?
fucking did this for you. Why?
I held your hair back.
Yeah, yeah. That would. Damn, unloyal.
Yeah.
Yeah, disloyal.
There
Fuck
was
that.
also that reminded me also oh my, why am I blanking? It's a show where they can't have sex.
Too hot to handle.
Too Hot to Handle.
Why
Yeah.
do I just know that?
You,
You guys watch a lot of dating shows. Huh?
we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
We
okay.
love ourselves a dating show. Netflix, great organization.
Organization.
Nothing
Great.
wrong with them.
It's a great nonprofit.
Great brand.
They've done a lot for the community.
Yeah, they really do. They try to build and
Yeah.
uplift. Yeah.
But there was a dude on the most recent season who he was really gung ho on everyone. Like he appointed himself kind of like the cop and making sure no one did anything. But it was a big part of it was like he's a student. And he had I think he mentioned maybe that he had a lot of debt, and he was like, "Yo, this money is life changing if one of us wins this." And so he had a very understandable reason why he was trying to adhere to the rules, and he was like, "I'm really sorry that that I made these decisions for us, that I was like so gung-ho about the money. I'm like, no, you have like money trauma.
Yeah.
Like that is very valid.
Yeah,
and no
100%.
one's talking about that.
100%. That being said, stop being a cuck.
Yeah.
Fucking let it
True.
go,
A
bro.
little bit.
Also, all that shit gets taken out with taxes anyway.
Yeah. That's what sucks about those shows. They're like, oh, you win $100,000. No, you win $10,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the government wants its check, the state wants its check, your parents are gonna want their check. Like after you have to divvy up money to everyone,
You have
come
like
out with,
$10
nothing.
left.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
come
Also,
out in debt.
You can buy a
essentially.
chopped
yeah.
cheese.
Yeah, you get that chopped cheese.
Yeah. People are going to come out of the wardrobe being like, hey, can you just spot me a 5? Just
Yeah,
like-
yeah. And how many fives can you spot? You know.
Yeah.
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 Not
Fuck
many.
that. You
Fuck
gotta
that.
change your number immediately. Doing
Yeah.
that money. You
You win the lottery. People who win the lottery, it's like they're fucked.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, me and so I live with Grant, my roommate, and remember when the lottery like a few months ago was like a craze, like 200 million.
It was a
something
huge
insane,
number,
right?
yeah.
shit.
I remember Grant was like, let's just fuck it, let's just get tickets. So we
Yeah.
got tickets, and we stayed up like for the next like 4 hours. We were doing research on like, all right, what are we gonna do? Because we're obviously gonna win. And so for 4 hours, like literally, I was looking up specific apartments in Paris that I wanted to buy, and he was like, all right, I'm gonna buy this ranch. We're gonna shoot guns out there. And I was like, all right, sick. And we stopped and we were like, all right, we're gonna get on the blackboard and we're gonna write out our priorities. First thing we're gonna buy, boom, boom. What's the second thing we're gonna buy? Boom, boom. And we literally were just going check all the way down, all the way
Yeah.
down, all the way down. And here's how dumb I am. Is I went to sleep truly afraid in my heart, because I was like, dude, this is gonna change my life forever when I win this tomorrow. Like what if?
Is it like, what am I capable of?
Yeah.
Like, what am
Well, no, I was like, I mean, like, we can't tell anyone. We're gonna have to like literally take these tickets and like secretly like go to the office, like submit it, slip it in, and then take the money and then just disappear. We're gonna have to just disappear for a few months so people don't know what's going on. And then Grant was like, no, we have to like keep living our lives the same, because then
Yeah.
people are gonna suspect that we won. And
But
we
every
just-
now and again, you're going to post a sketch and be like, is that a new Peloton?
Oh no! Oh no! The channel's getting deleted immediately. The first thing that's happening is I'm chucking my phone.
Give this man some
doing
money.
this
He
forever.
will stop making content.
Fuck that! I'll make one passion project movie, and
Yeah.
that's it. And it's gonna be dumb.
What's
And
your
I'll-
passion project movie?
Oh, I don't know. It'll probably just be an elaborate fart joke. Just
Yeah.
an hour and
Nice.
a half of a fart joke,
Oh
and
my
just
god!
make sure
Yes.
it premieres in every theater in America.
It's a
That's good.
rom-com. It's elaborate, and then the characters keep getting pushed and pulled away from each other.
Yeah.
And when they finally meet again, she's going away to Paris. He lives in New York. He runs after her to go to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go. He sees her at the gate,
Mm-hmm.
and she sees him and looks him in the eye, and then she just lets one rip.
Just lets one rip.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and you can see him tearing up because it's been building, right? Like the fart's been building, and he's just like, I've always loved the way you smell.
And then she's like, are you crying? And he's like, no, it's pink eye.
She's like, both. He's like, I think my nose is fucked too, to be honest. Is it bleeding? It looks
You've singed the hair inside my nose.
It's so bad my asshole's puckering, to be honest. I think I might have to fart. and then the EPA comes in and they're like, we're gonna have to shut down the airport. We can't have this happen.
But then the
This is
camera
when-
collapses because the guy fainted.
yeah, the guy fainted. It's like when the office broke in the fourth wall. At
Yeah,
the
yeah,
very
yeah,
end,
yeah.
The camera guy got involved. Which, by the way, fuck that. That was the dumbest thing. I hated that about that show.
I don't like breaking the fourth wall.
I like breaking the fourth, but make the show already breaking the fourth. Don't do it on the last season.
Yeah,
Have the camera guy be in love with Pam. Fuck you.
Yeah. It's
such-
pretty unnecessary.
It's lazy writing, is what it is.
Did you ever see She-Hulk?
I never finished it. I
Clearly
still
not.
haven't finished it.
Obviously not.
I only watched it because it was insane, and in the last episode,
Yeah, we don't watch stuff with women protagonists.
It was crazy that they thought they could do that. They break the
Rude.
fourth wall.
What? Make a woman in a show?
Yeah, make a woman in a show. Why would they do that? That's crazy.
Yeah, there's no audience for that.
There's no. Who would watch this?
Yeah.
Crazy as a woman on a podcast.
Thank God we don't have that.
I can't believe, but yeah.
Can you? Yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah. So
Go
this
on,
is
though,
my
She-Hulk. Yeah,
this is
talk
my
about
last show. So in She-Hulk, they have
Yeah.
this last episode where the She-Hulk, the character, goes into the writer's room of She-Hulk and is like, I want to change the ending. And talks to the actual She-Hulk writers.
That's not bad.
I thought it was crazy. I was like, just write an ending.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Please.
what was? Did it tie into the storyline at all, or
No.
was it just? Yeah, it was just an artistic choice then. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Well, to be fair, she is like, well, I still haven't seen like the end of the season, but like she is like talking to the camera, like she
Yeah.
talks to you, the audience members. So she does break the fourth wall throughout the show.
Yeah, yeah.
That is an element in it.
Yeah, okay. But it's like, I don't know. Like, I love Fleabag. I think it's like an amazing
great show, yeah.
Like that, she breaks the fourth wall and it's great. And then the ending of that, I liked when he starts to pick up on like, he's like, what is that you keep doing?
Yeah.
And she keeps like looking in the fourth wall. Like that, I thought like fit into the scheme of what's going on pretty well. But yeah, like when The Office did it, I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I've really come around on Fleabag. I think I was mad at Phoebe Waller-Bridge because she's so tall.
Is she that tall?
Yeah, she's like 5'11" or something.
Do you
Still
dislike?
got a chance.
Yeah, you got a chance. She's under 6 foot.
That's what's going to keep me out was the height. Yeah.
Do you have a thing against tall women?
I wouldn't say that. I just
No, she has,
That
a thing
she has a
against all women.
Yeah.
There's a
Right.
difference.
Yeah. No tea.
No.
Yeah.
cut the tea.
No, high tea,
High tea.
Low tea.
High tea
Yeah.
boys.
high tea boys,
Having high tea.
with tea.
With tea.
Yeah, tea time with high tea.
Have you had high tea?
What is high tea?
Oh, just like English, like
In
high
London?
tea.
High tea.
Oh no,
With scones and clotted cream.
Cucumber sandwiches.
no, I haven't.
We
had
gotta
it.
take. We gotta take you.
Oh yeah,
Oh
I'm in.
yeah.
It's
Do I have to
delicious.
dress? Nice?
I don't know where to get high
Yeah.
tea. I'm not a tea person.
No,
Yeah.
you don't have to dress nice. You
Okay.
can. You can be as handsome as you already are.
Exactly.
She.
I want to pivot for a second because you've been talking about North Carolina, Sudan, and New York. What is your timeline in all those places?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Born in North Carolina, lived there for 4 years. Moved to Sudan, lived there for 8 years. Came back to North Carolina, and then moved to New York a year ago.
Wow,
Wow.
nice. So how did those two experiences, like, how are they different?
Oh, they're the exact same.
No, okay. Great. Moving on.
Easy conversation.
All
Thank
right,
you for
and that's
coming. Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah.
No, Sudan's it's a third world country, right? And that's my childhood
Yeah.
was over there. So like things were like, I don't know. It's kind of hard because you don't know it's different until I moved here.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, oh shit's like different. Like I remember like the first thing, like we landed in JFK, which is like that's just immigration station right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, JFK. And then that night we stayed at a La Quinta Inn, and I was like,
When you were 12, coming back to
when
America?
I was
Yes,
12
okay.
coming back, and I was like, yo, this is so nice. I was
Oh,
like, this is
yeah.
they have carpet on the floor. That's crazy. I've never seen carpet on the floor. And then we had like La Quinta Inn. We had a vending machine, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like I was like, you just put money and they just give you shit. And I just kept asking my mom for money and stuff.
Oh.
Got Papa John's. I was like, this is the greatest food I've ever had in my life. Papa
Wow.
John's.
Yeah.
Beef
Yeah.
and onion. You know?
Do you remember any bit of your childhood from 4 and before, when you were like born and raised up before you left for the Sudan?
Not really. Like there's like little tiny like scenes just flash in my head, but my like long term is pretty like not great. Like my long term memory is not great. Short term memory is really good.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like I remember
Wow.
everything. Like I remember like for tests and stuff, I could just read it and I can remember it.
Oh, do you have like a photographic memory?
It's not like photographic, but it's like somewhere in between. Like I can remember where like words are in a book. Like I can be like, oh, I remember this. I was like on the third page, like right there.
That's
wow.
incredible.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I mean, I think it's probably gone by now though.
All that vaping. You
Yeah.
blew it.
The vaping's what did it. Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Elf
Yeah.
bar.
Did your whole family move back and forth as well, or was it like some relatives?
No, it's just my immediate family. Like,
Yeah.
What is your immediate? Do you have siblings?
Yeah, twin sisters.
Twin sisters. Wow.
Yeah.
How
Older or
older,
younger?
Older.
see.
So they bullied you?
They did bully me.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
that's why I have this scar in my head.
Wait,
shit.
really?
Because me and my sister argued over the remote when I was like 10, and then she just grabbed my head and slammed it against the like end of the bed.
Yeah.
Oh my
about
God.
Yeah,
right.
that's Sudan.
Oh my God. My mom has stories of fights. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
That were so dramatic. She talked about like when she was 6 that she beat up a 12-year-old kid and she was so proud of herself.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. And there's also like there's no consequences really when you're in Sudan. Like it's like you could just fuck someone up and just keep walking and nothing happens. There's no police, you know?
It's
Yeah.
a correct country.
Yeah,
it's correct.
It is truly like vigilante justice. Like you can if someone wrongs you, you just show up to their house
Yeah.
and you just take care of business.
Is there anything from the Sudan that like a couple years living in back in the States as like a teenager where you're like, I miss this part about the Sudan.
Barefoot. Barefoot is fun. Yeah, like just like walking down the street, like flip flops. You know, just like that was cool. The food's really good. Also, it's like the thing is like it's a community. Like it is like it's a really weird feeling to like be in America where like I think like black people that live in America that were born and raised here, obviously they don't know the difference of like in Sudan I was just a guy. Like, and everyone looked like me, and everyone had the same experience, and everyone had the same culture, and you felt like you just belonged there. Like, even though, like, I wasn't really that religious or whatever, which is a big part of the culture, but, like, everything else outside of the culture, I was like, yeah, I'm just hanging. I'm just one of the guys. But then you move here, and you're like, oh, I'm different than everyone, and I'm constantly reminded that I'm different. And that's a different world to live in, I think, and it took a while to get over that. Yeah. Like,
were there certain elements that made that hit you, like certain things that happened or noticed?
Yeah, I remember like literally my first week, like something like I was like talking, and I went to like private school in Sudan, so I had spoken English. And my parents would speak English, so like I was like, oh, my English is good. And I didn't think I had an accent. I remember I went like first week in school, I said something, someone was like abuta beta, and I was like, all right, well fuck, now I got to work on this accent.
Well, that was a really meaningful thing that they said.
Yeah. I forget what I said.
You're welcome for me saying that.
Yeah, Lucas said that to you. I remember.
No, I remember the guy who said it. We're still friends. His name's He was like my first friend in America.
Wait, that's sweet. What was the context?
I think I was like something like I was like what did the teacher say? He was like, what did the teacher say? And I was like, fuck.
Oh,
fuck.
What's great? I love African accents.
Oh, it's my favorite one.
It's the best.
It's my favorite.
They're
How are you
beautiful.
today? So good.
Man, I lived in South Africa basically for like a month at a time, you know, like at each time that I went there. And it's really like, I mean, obviously visiting it as an American, it's like pretty different. But like every time I'm there, I feel like I get to know it a little bit more because I'm like kind of familiar with where everything is and things like that. And I saw this play while I was there that was like about South African culture, and like listening to all of like the people in the audience, like each joke they laughed at, sometimes I'd get it or sometimes I'd be like, oh, interesting. But it was like helpful for me learning. And I remember that was cool, like seeing comedy there was like the thing that made me learn the most about it of anything.
That makes sense. Like what people laugh about in cultures.
Yes.
Like, is indicative of what's important in those cultures, you know?
Yes.
I saw a stand-up special of Trevor Noah's that was all about South African culture and a lot about South African politics.
I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like talking about like this guy Jacob Zuma and like
Jacob Zuma sucks.
Yeah. And it was interesting where I was like, I don't understand this, but I know why it's funny.
Yeah.
It was like, this isn't making me laugh, but I could tell it was good.
Yeah. I feel like one of those things, you know, when you go to like a sports game, even though you don't give a shit about the game, but because everyone else is so in it, you're like, fuck yeah. This is a vibe, you know?
yeah.
I'm here. It's a good time. I feel like it feels like one of those things where just, as long as everyone else is in on it, you're like, I can pick up. I can have fun with this, even if you don't understand the language.
Yeah, sure. Can I ask, so with your accent, did you put an effort to try to make it change?
To get rid of it. Yeah.
Wow.
I was just like watch TV and be like, all right, just this is how you say the word. You don't say it like, you don't put the in it. Just let it ride. Just put.
Are there ever times where it comes out?
Not anymore. Like I mean, only when I say Arabic words.
Yeah.
Like if someone like when you say Sudan, they're like Sudan. Yeah. Like I don't say like I guess I do say Sudan like if I'm talking on stage, but
yeah.
Sudan.
I say Sudan. Yeah. So
you say the Sudan.
I do say the Sudan.
You say Sudan.
Because my mom was always so adamant about saying it is the Sudan. Well, my mom was very particular about that.
There's two now.
Yeah.
There's a great scene in The Social Network where Justin Timberlake goes up to Mark Zuckerberg and is like, you should drop the Sudan. Just Sudan. It's cleaner.
Yeah. It is cleaner. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
It feels like the Sudan makes it seem like the jungle. You know, it's just like, hey, man, it's just a country. It's Sudan. Yeah.
I think the anything.
Yeah.
The thing I was referencing in Social Network was they used to call it the Facebook.
Oh,
really?
yeah. I remember that.
Ugh.
Which I think some people still call it the Facebook.
Yeah.
the
I think
Facebooks.
anyone who's on Facebook now is probably calling it the Facebook.
Yeah, did you
Yeah.
see Marge posting on the Facebook? She talking about COVID.
I had a social studies teacher in high school who said, he sounded a little bit like Bernie Sanders in that he was like, I don't know what you guys do online. You know, you're on MyFace or Spacebook or whatever. Like,
That must have been his signature bit too.
he loved, I could tell that he loved saying it, like getting it just a little intentionally wrong. It
Yeah.
was great. Shout out to Mr. Dreyer.
Hell yeah. Dude, I
Mr.
remember I had
Dreyer.
one teacher in high school. That is my favorite saying of all time. It's very misogynistic. And he was our AP history teacher.
Okay.
But you could tell this is his like signature bit.
Yeah.
We were like studying and he was like, women's suffrage. We've been suffering ever since. And I was like, dude, you can't say that. You cannot say that in public.
He can't say it because it's so correct.
Yeah. You can't handle
Really
the truth.
unfortunate.
But he just dropped that. He just had that little like, come on, dude.
He was like, I'm so bad.
Yeah, literally, you could tell he was like,
I'm a little scamp. I'm a little sexist scamp.
Do you guys remember like 7 years ago there was this just onslaught of like it was the first time like gluten-free products were coming out and these girls would go like gluten-free, no thanks. I want all the gluten. And they would
I
be
remember that.
so I feel like I remember that being like a bit people would do.
really?
I think also that was around the time I like did stand up for the first time, so I saw a lot of like hack comedians go up and be like, now everything is gluten free, no thanks, I like my yummy gluten.
Oh, well, now there's talk about being bi, so
Yeah. We've moved on from the wheat.
we've evolved.
And you know what, it's enough. It's enough bisexuals.
Let's go back to the gluten, actually.
Yeah.
I'll take gluten bits back.
We're over bi people. We're over it.
I have yet to meet a girl in New York that's just straight. They're all bi. I've yet to
Name
meet
one.
one. Literally, I cannot name one. I literally have thought about it the other day because when I realized, I was like, I don't think I know a single one that's just straight.
At this point, if you live in New York and you're not bi, like grow up.
Yeah.
Well, the joke is you do. It's all of them.
Yeah.
That is a joke.
That is
a joke.
Until you start
You are
dating
valid, and I respect you.
until you start dating a girl, though. Yeah.
Oh my god, they're gonna kill you guys. We are joking. Bisexuals are so valid. And I'm afraid of them. It's an intense community.
It is chill though, because you know what it is. Also, you live in New York, right, where everyone's bi, everyone it doesn't even matter. You know, it's not
Yeah.
even something to even talk about.
Yeah.
Then you go back to North Carolina, and you're like, oh yeah, this girl's bi, and they're like, hold on,
Oh, really?
go
excuse
on.
me.
Yeah. You mean gay?
Yeah, they're like, pick a camp. I'm good with the gay stuff, but fucking choose one. You know? And it's just like, doesn't it like? There's no like fluidity to it, you know?
Yeah.
They're just
crazy.
like, pick one, be something.
Man.
How often do you go back to North Carolina?
Every I don't know. Last time I went was probably like Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So I guess every 3-4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find it refreshing to go back?
Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course, you want to go back. Like I just go hang out with my old friends, like
Nice,
hang out with
yeah.
the family. But it's also like you do like 2 days in North Carolina, and then you're like, fucking, I need to be in New York.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Well, you moved here a year ago. That's awesome. What was the transition like for you?
I like graduated in December, and then I wanted to move to New York. I was like, I want to do comedy. I have to move to New York, and I didn't have a job, and all my applications, all the jobs I applied for was just like duds, and I was like, I guess I'm just gonna go wash dishes. Like I'm gonna move. I had gotten a job in Greensboro, and I was like, nah, I can't take it because if I take it, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm never gonna leave. And so I was like, I gotta just move. And then last minute, just got a job out of nowhere, just random job, and that's the job I do now. And then just drove up.
You drove.
Amazing.
How far is the drive?
It's like 8 hours.
Whenever someone drives, I'm impressed.
Did you do it 1 day or 2 days?
No, one day. Also drove an hour into the drive, realized that the brakes were fucked, and I was like, well, there's no turning back. So
Oh, so you just went.
I was like, we're just fucking, ain't no stopping, And then by the time I got the car back, my dad was like, hey, you ruined the car, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like a you problem. I'm leaving. So yeah.
Ever heard of a grind set?
Yeah. They're like, if you would have just fixed it, it would have been like fine. But now we have to like repair the entire car. I was like, no. You have to repair the car. I got to catch a flight is what I got to do. So
Yeah.
bye.
You could lie and just be like, everyone in New York drives at 100 miles an hour all the time.
Yeah.
That's the speed minimum. There's no limit.
There's no, no. Also, like, I would hate to drive in New York. I don't get how people do it. It's rough.
I don't know. I know like a couple of people. Like there's Dan Frank, who's a wonderful comedian. He drives in the city, and like he's not doing well. No, he's doing. He's fine. No, he's great. But yeah, I don't know how people do it.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So when you got here, what was your favorite part about like living here versus visiting here?
Well, I only visited once. I visited in October because I was like, all right, I'm going to move. I want to move either New York or LA. That's kind of your choices. And I was planning on the trip to LA, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go to New York first. And as soon as I got off the train, you know what happened? I literally got off, and I got on the bus, and there was just a Puerto Rican dude just catcalling the fuck out of a lady. And then just the lady was just like, mind your fucking business. And then he was just like, all right, and just kept walking.
And you were like,
I
I'm
was
home.
I was like, New York.
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, this place rocks. If this is just normal, like this shit is just, I don't know. And then obviously like walked around the city, and I was like, this is awesome. Like I don't want to live anywhere else. Why would I?
It really is the people. Like it's the irreverence and just people being like, mind your business.
Yeah.
That's the best
and
part.
then just the access to everything because of public transportation, everything's accessible and people are accessible.
Yes.
And that rocks. Whereas like I feel like, and I haven't been to LA, but I will speak on it.
I've never been to LA either.
Yeah, we should go.
I would love to go. I want to go and visit.
Let's do a trip.
I would love to.
Hell yeah.
You guys should go, and you should try catcalling women in a sprawling place.
Yeah.
You might have to use
It's
like
not
one
trying
of those
when we do it.
Yeah.
It's mastery.
It's mastering the craft.
Yeah, we're starting a master class. It's called catcalling the right way.
I'd love to see that next to like Steve Martin comedy. Gordon Ramsay chef, Momo catcalling.
Calling the right way.
I'd love to do like a Tony Robbins like event in an arena where we're just okay. If you want to catcall women better, here's how. And we just
You
like
gotta
coach.
believe in you, and then they will believe you. Be all you can be. Be confident. They don't want unconfidence. Do you want to or not?
They have bodies. Comment on them.
Yeah. You think she doesn't know she's pretty? Dig deeper.
And if she doesn't know, you have to tell her. You know, I get catcalled less frequently than I used to, but I feel like my least favorite thing is I honestly don't mind if someone's like, nice ass. I'm like, yeah, I know. But when somebody just goes, hi, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Or
It's
you're just like pussy.
yeah, exactly.
You're a dick. What? As if I'm going to turn around and be like, hey, what are you struggling with? What are you going through right now?
Yeah.
Hey, would you like to have sex with me?
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I thought you'd never ask, you know?
What's your life story? Tell me. I want to know now.
Yeah.
It's this way of being like, acknowledge me. And you know what? I will not acknowledge you unless you have told me I have a nice ass.
Can I tell you what I relate to that is when you get like a message on like Bumble and it's just hi or hey, and it's just like, I want a show.
Yeah.
Give me a show.
Put some effort in.
Give me a line. I want something.
Ask me. You could just open with a question, but just do it. Like, it's better than hi.
Yeah.
Is it weird? Kind of, sure. But like, I'll more likely gonna respond to that than hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want some effort.
Yeah.
I want a little bit.
Read my bio. Fucking say something about
What
that.
would make you guys respond right away? Like what line? What
A
is
joke?
Oh,
a joke? Really?
A joke based on something like I said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Great.
a joke, or even just a question like I mentioned like some movies that I'm into, and she's like, "Oh, what's your favorite?" or something like that. Something to show just a slightest bit of I read something, I am interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even if it's something random, or if I get called like sugar tits, I'm like, she's fun.
Yeah.
Something a little bit random,
Are you
random
dating
with a guy.
60-year-olds? Hey, sugar tits.
What's up, bubble butt? How you doing?
You've been fitting in any crevices lately?
You sweet like nectarine, boy.
You want me to pick you up? I can pick you up.
Yeah. Comment on something. Yeah, it's like it is that. It's like show interest.
Yeah.
Because other than
Exactly.
that, it's like you're just playing numbers, and that's annoying. I
Yeah.
don't want to be playing numbers.
No.
Do you have like a bad date story that happened in New York?
Yeah. Oh, I went on a date with this girl that worked for the NSA, I think. Something like that. It was the CIA or the NSA. And I remember, I forgot how the conversation like got to where it got, but I was just like, I was like, what region do you work in? She was like, where were you from again? And I was like, Sudan. And she goes, you don't have to worry about anything. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
You
Now
told
I'm
me that in
worried.
an Uber, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, that girl, fucking good on her. Probably bombing somewhere.
I like the idea that like she was waging the war.
Yeah. Where it's like, I was like, if she's saying, you have nothing to worry about, it's like, well, that means I was in the vicinity, you know?
Yeah.
You wouldn't bring that up if it was Antarctica.
Yeah, if somebody bombed Antarctica, I'd be pretty upset.
Yeah. But when it's Yemen, it's cool.
I love the idea of someone hating penguins
That's
that
right.
much.
I have a ranking.
Yemen, fine. But Syria, no, they make good baklava.
Syrian food's really good.
Syrian food's so fucking good.
Ooh, England.
England,
Great.
England.
they got good Syrian food there.
Yeah, they got great Indian food.
Indian
Yeah, great Indian food. Yeah.
They honestly do. I went to England. There's this place, Dishoom. I'm like, this is your only good restaurant.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know tikka masala was invented there?
Yes,
It's
it's a
crazy.
Scottish
England?
invention, isn't
Scottish, yeah. It's from
Yeah.
Guernsey or something.
it? Yeah.
How would a Scottish guy say tikka masala?
Tikka masala.
Tikka
There we go.
masala.
Tikka masala.
Tikka masala.
Tikka
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like they were making a chicken tandoori, and there was a guy going, "I want some gravy," and so he like improvised a sauce, and then it took off.
They were like, yeah, just water it down a little bit. Just
Yeah.
put a little sauce in that. Yeah. It's a bit heavy for me.
Yeah.
Too much flavor.
What if we make it a soup?
He's like a Woody Allen character now. Hey, it's too much flavor in there.
Yeah.
Gotta get it out.
Yeah.
Would you please water it down?
Yeah. That way there's more.
Do you know what you may argue with me on this, but the best pizza that I've ever had was not in New York. It was in Paris. Best pizza I've ever had.
That makes
was in
sense,
Paris.
I won't argue with you.
I mean,
It
Italy
was-
to Paris.
Yeah,
It's like-
True.
It was like super flavorful toppings, really thin crust. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that I'm not a patriot. I was like, oh, I hate my country. Oh, this is good to know.
Well, American food is like, the stuff that we're really good at is just the stuff that kills you. It's just like,
100%.
how much butter can we put on a pancake?
Oh,
And
When
that-
you said Papa John's was like the best thing, it's like, yeah.
it's
you
pretty
eat
good. The garlic dipping sauce that they
so good. Till this day, it's still my favorite like fast food.
you eat
Oh my
food
God.
from a factory that's just covered in salt. It's like
MSG.
objectively that's the best.
Yeah, a
that was-
scientist made this food.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, of course it's good.
I believe in science. You nailed it.
yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. MSG works. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's like when Jim Gaffigan says, "Has your mother ever made anything as good as McDonald's fry?"
yeah. Never. And she never will.
It's such a dark joke. It's such a dark thing to know.
Yeah.
That is the best thing.
Well, also, I think the other thing about food is like, everyone has their like, oh, this is my favorite. It's like, yeah, that's circumstantial. It's like, yeah, when I'm like starving and then I get something that's even good, to me, it's incredible. You
Yeah.
know, it's like different. Depends on where you are, or if you're just having a great day. If you're traveling, especially when you're traveling, when you're like just taking in the scene, you're like, this is amazing, this is amazing, this is amazing. Then you have food, and you're like, this is fucking amazing. Everything's amazing. You know,
Yeah.
It's different than like, even if your bodega is like an amazing 5-star bodega, if you eat there every day, you're like, yeah, it's good. You know,
I feel like you're a happy-go-lucky guy.
what does that?
I like your attitude.
Generally, always looking for the positive. I think.
Yeah.
That's what,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I feel like you just, I mean, we're going to get into like perceptions and stuff later, but I feel like you just, from this conversation, I feel you just like approaching life with this like kind of joy to it. Like walking around being like, huh, nice.
Yeah.
It's
I try
also
to.
because I don't think you could give yourself the moniker Momo and be a glass half empty kind of guy.
Yeah.
You can't be a depressed like Momo.
Yeah. I mean, I do get.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure we all have bad days, but
Yeah.
but in general, yeah, you seem like just a very like you're always like going. You have a positive attitude. You're focused on the right stuff. Yeah.
Thank you. Hell yeah. I try to be like aware. I try to be like pretty aware. You know, honestly, it's one of the few things where I'm like, oh, college did help me like gain a bigger perception of the world. I think growing up in another country definitely helps that figure out just perception of the world. And then like college, I took a lot of classes that were like, I was like, oh, this is like opening up. Like I took a class on globalization that I was like, this is like the most interesting class I've ever taken. Like it really like explains things around the world, like how things happen, why things happen, causation, and like, and then you like, I don't know. Then things like just start to make more sense when you piece them together. Like even when you see someone that's mad, it's like you can take it as face value, or you can be like, oh, like the person's probably like having a shitty day, and I don't know why they're having a shitty day, and then you're like, maybe we just let it slide, you know?
Yeah. What happens in globalization?
Oh, like how like the world just was like taken over by the West and like everything.
The
like,
globalists.
You mean the best time?
The best. Well, that is the
Yeah.
argument, is like that it's like technically it has made everyone's lives better, even though it is exploitative, but still the people that, you know, in Africa or whatever, like, yeah, now they have to work in factories, but even now they work in factories, they have healthcare, they'll have water, they'll have food, and it's like technically it's better. It's still exploitative, but it's like, is it better than what they were living? Sure.
Yeah. God, the Krispy Kreme in South Africa, never have I seen a longer line. People love the Krispy Kreme.
Yes. There was a knockoff McDonald's I remember in Sudan. It was called Lucky's or some shit. I remember that. I remember the line for that. Was
Wait, did they have like similar gold lettering?
Oh, they had the M. Yeah, there's no trademark laws.
Just
They
the
fucking
L?
took
Just
the
a L?
M. No, they just put the M and just called it Lucky's. It was awesome. There's no copyright laws. You do whatever the fuck you want.
I was assuming they did way too much effort.
Yeah, no. Put that M on there, and then like, and it was just like they would have burgers.
Yeah,
but it's
Lucky's.
Sudanese burgers, so it's like, you know, the bread's
Lamb, like-
it's like pita bread. You're like, come on, dude. No, they had real bread.
Did they do the peanut salad as well?
Yeah, they would put the peanut shit on. Yeah, you could like really fuck with it. They're like call it the Big Mac, and it's like it's not a fucking Big Mac. Dude.
God. Not the Big
Grandma made
Lucky's.
this.
I kind of want that though. I kind of want to try this.
It was pretty good.
Sounds delicious.
It sounds really. The peanut salad is amazing.
It's insane. Yeah,
It's so good.
for all the Habibis out there. Salata dakwa. Yeah.
Shout out to the. Can I say Habibi? No.
Habibis. Yeah.
Yeah,
It means loved
Habibis.
ones. Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to the loved ones.
Yeah. Habaib. Habaib is plural.
Yeah.
Vibe.
I'm trying to work on a joke that I've tried it twice and it hasn't landed either time. It's where I say, my mom, I was having a conversation with my mom and my uncles and my granddad, and they said that there's a chance that we're descended from the Prophet Muhammad, which means you could call me a Nepo Habibi.
Kind of like it.
Yeah, it's got
It's cute, but it's not funny. It's not like
Yeah.
really, it doesn't hit. It's just like,
Nepo
yeah.
Habibi. Yeah.
Nepo Habibi, yeah.
Yeah. You get into heaven on nepotism.
You could, I mean, maybe you even simplify it. You just say Nepo baby, and then you say, actually, it's Nepo Habibi.
Yeah.
Because maybe the leap is too far.
It's too
but
much
also
to
maybe
tag.
everyone's mad at you because they're like, well, he's only getting these opportunities because he's descended from Muhammad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you are only getting these arguments
Yeah.
because you're a senator.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How's it
I
feel
haven't
to
put
be-
in any effort in my career. ever.
No. Everything in here has been handed to him.
From Muhammad. Yeah.
Just the other day, he gets this phone call, and it's Muhammad, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, what's up? I want to put
No
you in
caller ID because he can't know what he looks
this."
like.
He can't know what he looks like. He's like, "Hey, what's up? I want to put you in this writer's room."
I gotta tell you, this is the one that'll get you death threats. It's the Muhammad conversation. I was like,
Oh no!
We can move on.
people gonna be tight on that one. The Habibis. And we're back.
And we're back. What'd you have for breakfast today?
Bacon.
Nice.
No, kidding.
Oh my god. I do briefly want to say what it was like for the people who don't know what it was like when I first met you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at that open mic.
Oh god.
Because
dude.
it's a very nice little story.
Yeah.
But we were at this open mic. It was Espy's open mic at
Joey Bats.
at Joey Bats. And I went up. I did some material about my mom being Sudanese, and then you arrived after I had done my set, I think.
Yes.
And then you went up, and then I believe you talked about being Sudanese, and everyone like did a little laugh and like looked back at me or something, and you were like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, it's because I'm Sudanese." And you were like, "No, you're not."
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, "No, I am." And then you were like, and you were like, "What side?" I was like, "My mom's." And then you're like, "Okay, where is your mom from? If she's from the Sudan?" I was like, "Omdurman." And then you were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I was like, wait, that's a real place. That's a deep cut. How the
Yeah.
fuck does he know that? Yeah. And then after, we kept talking.
Yeah,
during
no,
the
you
set.
brought me up. You were like, "Yeah, I need to learn now." And then
Yeah.
we talked for like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
During your set.
Yeah. And then after, I was like, no, show me your fucking. I want to know what
Yeah.
the fuck. Yeah. Yeah, that was
a
insane.
nice moment.
That's hilarious.
I was like fully like, there's no, it's not possible. What?
It's not possible.
I was like, and like, especially like, look, I was like, oh, he's like a dick. Like he's being a dick. He's a comic in the back that's being a dick. Like, yeah, I'm from Sudan. You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It'd be so funny if that was who Lucas was.
Well, I didn't. I had
Just
no
a guy
idea.
who lies about
no,
that.
yeah. You don't know. Yeah, especially in those settings. Like
Comics are assholes.
Yeah,
like,
they are.
Of course, some comic would be at a bad open mic would be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I'm fucking Sudanese. You know, and you're
I
like,
do it all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm always.
You know when
saying
someone
that.
like says something in the crowd, and you don't even like they're trying something at a mic, and you're just like, woo, because they're like, has anyone here done? And you're like, yeah, and you're just like, just come on, keep going.
Yeah.
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 Can I? What is the most tasteless thing you have heard at an open mic or a show? Even
People being like, are you really Sudanese? I'm like, no, I made that up. You think I fucking
Made it up for my
that
career.
I'm from Sudan? Yeah.
who does that?
Hey, people are really weird, dude, about like the
Yeah.
things they'll ask you about it. Like, obviously, there's some things that are like plagiarized, right? Like, it's like,
Yeah,
I have a
sure.
bit about like getting bullied by a child soldier. Yeah, I didn't get bullied by a child soldier,
Yeah.
but
Not yet.
well,
After this
Yeah.
episode.
they're grown now. Yeah. Now they're just commanders. But it's like the kid that bullied me might as well have been a child soldier. All right, so like, it's just enough of a leap to make it happen, you know?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I'll get. I used to, at least, like when I did like a lot more mics, you get like people being like, "Oh, you just gotta talk about Sudan." It's like, hey man, yeah, I live there. I get to talk about that. You know?
Oh, there are people in your life who are like, it's getting old.
No, it's like
Or,
comics being like, "Oh, I mean, you're lucky you get to like just talk about Sudan or whatever." And it's just like, hey man, you want to go live in a third world country for 8 years? Fucking be my guest and go talk about it.
Oh my
But-
god, people are so bitter. Oh my god, pretty crazy. You're talking about your life experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wish I had some of that.
That's a crazy thing to say. You're so lucky you just get to talk about this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
How strapped are you for life experiences?
I was gonna say, yeah, and then they go do their observational Pringles bit, and it's like, all right, good, that'll make it.
Yeah.
Have fun, you know. It's
But
like,
if
all
it
right.
were Pringles in the Sudan,
If it was Pringles in Zen, which we did have, a Mr. Pringle. Ustaz Pringle. Ustaz means teacher. You know? I don't know why we call people that. Any old man, you just call him teacher. Like Ustaz.
Ustaz, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a term of like respect. You
wait,
know?
I love that. We gotta bring that to America.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I realized the other day? It like took me a second to realize. I was like, oh yeah, they never taught us about the Holocaust in Sudan. They
So
never
when did
brought
you
it
learn?
up. They never brought it in America, like in
Whoa.
school.
So were you just like, oh, that's sad?
But then I
Like-
was thinking about that, and I was like, I don't think any of the adults know about that either. I think
Yeah.
they
Oh my
just
God.
kind of just skipped that chapter, where it's like, hey, you didn't want to bring this up at all. That or 9/11 didn't get brought up, really. You know?
Oh my God.
Really?
Yeah.
I will say I remember that doesn't surprise me because I remember I dated a woman who was from India. She grew up there and then she was here for like grad school, and that she was like, Hitler wasn't that big of a deal for us.
Yeah.
That she was like, yeah, we in India we had like more pressing personal issues around that time, and we were taught about that much more emotionally. And so like we learned about him, but it wasn't as like we weren't taught to hate him as intensely as like people in America and in like Europe and stuff naturally were like taught about it more intensely.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean-
was like, I respect that. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
That makes so much sense. Like, I didn't even know the word Hitler, but it makes sense because there was a genocide happening in Sudan at the time.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you gotta,
Bigger fish to fry.
yeah, you gotta. Let's focus on home first, and then we
Yeah.
can expand out and learn.
Because
kinda thing.
we didn't get taught about any genocides besides the Holocaust.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like fucking Don Cheadle had to make a movie for people to be like, shit's kind of weird in Rwanda, huh?
Yeah.
Was it Don Cheadle? It was Don
I
Cheadle.
think it was Hotel
Yeah.
Rwanda.
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still never saw that movie.
I've never seen the movie either.
Me neither.
or
Yeah.
that hotel.
I thought it was about a nice hotel.
I thought it
No,
was
I
like
did know.
I thought it was like a Rwanda kind of thing. Just kind of weird branding.
You
It's
know
kind
what?
of a lucky situation. It's
Yeah,
just
you're
like,
like, damn, Ramada's doing well. They got a movie. That's good. You know.
moving up.
Yeah.
branded content.
I can't wait for that Holiday Inn movie coming out. Holiday Sin.
Ooh.
Sin City, but it's Holiday Sin City.
I
Oh
like
my.
that.
Yeah.
I would shill out for the Sheraton. I kind of like a Sheraton.
The Sheraton.
Yeah.
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 I've never been to a Sheraton.
I don't know if I've been to a Sheraton either. I stick with Hilton. I'm brand loyal.
Oh, damn. Your Hilton life.
Oh,
Damn.
Deep.
Lucas grew up well. The Hilton.
I like the Best Westerns. Reasonably priced.
I don't think I've stayed at hotels really. We used to stay at motels.
Yeah.
We would, yeah. Remember we
Super
went to
8?
Disney? We went to stay at a motel, and we drove down, stayed at the motel, and then this is what my parents would do. They were like, when we'd go to Disney, they were like, we're not gonna spend money on the food at Disney. That's crazy. So we'd go get Little Caesars, get the full box, put in Ziploc bags. My mom would put it under her hijab and then walk it in.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and we just eat titty sweat pizza for the rest of the day. And I remember when I get thirsty, I'd be like, Dad, can we buy water? He'd be like, no, they're criminals. They're charging too much. And then we just be like, just eat more pizza.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say drink the sweat.
No.
I love the same thing.
Nah, he'd be like, just pray it rains, brother. Like, just yeah, titty sweat pizza. I remember that.
Oh my
That
god.
was great.
Gives it a certain flavor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the Ziploc bag, dude. Yeah,
They're criminals.
that is $4 for water. Why?
That's a way to keep it warm.
Yeah. We just be walking around like women have purses. My mom's just walking with a Ziploc bag.
Oh my god.
Just loose pizzas.
Oh my god.
And Little Caesars, by the way, which after 5 minutes is a crime to eat. It's so
Oh.
bad.
It really is.
Yeah, but they got us to Disney. Well, it's,
Maybe that's an immigrant
Damn.
parent thing. I remember the first time my mom and I went to eat like all you can eat sushi. She didn't understand the concept of all you can eat sushi.
oh yeah.
And so when they were going to charge us for sushi left on the plate, my mom goes, that's so punitive. Even though that's just like the whole point. So she starts, she takes a napkin and she starts taking individual sushis and trying to like put them in her
Hell
purse.
yes. Yep.
And we get
I
caught,
like this.
obviously.
Oh.
You got caught?
Yeah, but it's so embarrassing to get caught doing that because she just saw a whole roll in my mother's bag, but she was just like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Yo, I remember when my cousins were in America too. This is like early years when we had just moved. We would show up to the Golden Corral. We were a fucking problem. When we show up, we would like starve ourselves all day. We were like, we're gonna fuck up Golden Corral today, and we would just walk 12 deep and just destroy their entire business model. We would just fucking go ape shit. And then at the end, like we would, because it's like, especially as an immigrant, you're like, oh, all you can eat, I will break your business model.
Right.
Yeah.
And we would just destroy it and then try to slip shit out on the way out. Like, all right, take the pizza, fucking let's put it in the bag,
Put it in
take
the
the steak,
Yeah.
just take a loose steak and just fucking put it in your back pocket and walk
A
out with
loose
it.
steak.
Yeah. Just pick the lint off it later and be like, it's still good.
Oh my
you know?
God.
It's still
Yeah.
good. Still steak, you know?
I gotta
Oh
go
my
to a
God.
Golden Corral.
I've never been to a Golden Corral either.
Bro, the Golden Corral, I tell you, the one in North Carolina, when they saw us, they would just be like, no, we close. I don't know. I don't know. We don't want no problems, bro.
They're like, oh, I can see the Ziplocs already.
Yeah. We're walking in with Ziplocs. We're like, it's a religious thing. You got
Yeah.
a problem? Say something. I
It's
dare
because
you.
we're Sudanese.
Yeah.
That's why.
Say something.
I think there's definitely an immigrant parent thing about making containers out of everything you can.
Oh,
100%.
yeah. The fucking, I remember we'd get these eclairs. They come in this like little box from Costco, and that shit would have fucking cow ears. It would have fucking like soups, and it would have bread all in the same box, just like sectioned off together, and then you just toss it in there, and then whenever you take it out, you got a different meal, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Do you guys use the cookie tins for everything?
Oh,
Cookie
yeah,
tins,
yeah.
yeah. You
Dutch
just
cookies.
keep anything in that. Put fucking passports, whatever.
Yeah,
It's a good
makeup.
tin. It,
It is a good
lasts
tin.
forever.
The
It's a
Quality
really good
Street one.
tin.
That's a deep cut for the people.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Quality Street
That
tins.
tin,
Beautiful.
that purple one, yeah,
So good.
that's a staple in the Sudanese household.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? Did it have sewing materials in yours?
Of course,
Sewing
yes.
materials.
That's the moniker one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Your
the one-
mom sew?
My mom sews. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
wasn't doubting it. Wasn't like, yeah, right.
That's another thing too. That's a difference between like over there and here. Like when your clothes rip in Sudan, they're like, yeah, just fix it. Don't buy a new shirt. Fucking
Yeah.
sew your shirt back.
Did you ever learn to? I did not learn to sew. Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, damn! I need to learn.
I would have to sew my pants, like especially because we had school uniforms too. So it's like
yeah.
you're not gonna buy a new uniform. Fucking fix your uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to learn to sew. I tried learning to sew when I was like 12, and not to pun too hard, but I was so bad.
Well, okay. All right.
Boo!
It took me a second.
It took me a second as
yeah,
well.
It took me a second too. By the time I caught
Oh
it.
God.
Yeah.
It's not the worst one. I'll take it.
This podcast is falling apart at the seams.
I mean, a lung of
No,
mine
that
just
one I
collapsed.
hated. Yeah. That one I hated.
Just hearing that. So, yeah. Oh.
so bad I was cool with.
So wait, when you tried learning, like what did you like? What did you learn?
I'm inattentive to detail, and I have shaky hands, and I tried making pants, and it just
Wait, you're talking about with the machine or hand?
I had to do both. I was trying to make a pair of pants, so I was mostly using the machine, and then sometimes you'd have to do things by hand. But the whole time, I mean, they would just fix it for me because I would fuck it up so severely.
Were you taking like a class or something?
It was like at a summer camp.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sick. Hell yeah. I never did the machine. I was just hand.
Really?
Yeah, because it was just like, all right, it rips here. It's like, all right, then just fix it.
Just fix it.
Yeah.
Nice. So before we get into our listener submissions, I must ask you about your sort of like origin and coming into the sort of like small empire that you've made in like social media sketch comedy that you're so good at. How did you get involved? What was your first moves?
I mean, I obviously moved here for stand up, right? And I was
Yeah.
also like I was a pretty like, fuck it, it's either stand up or nothing.
Yeah.
All these other fucking hacks are doing their little videos. And I was like that guy, you know? And I remember like back home in North Carolina, this guy, Eric Trundy, shout out to Eric, who is like kind of like my mentor when I was like back there. And he like, I remember one day, because I was like shitting over like puppets. I don't know why he was like talking about puppets. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? It's not like stand up. And he was like, why isn't stand up? And I was like, I don't know, because it's not, it's like it's a show, it's not stand up. And he was just like kind of like was like, all right, Steve Martin, is that a stand up? And I was like, I mean, I guess technically. He's like, Robin Williams, is that a stand up? I was like, yeah, I guess like it's weird, but like, yeah, I guess that's technically stand up. And we just kept going through all these like comics that were like different, but were stand up comedians. And then at the end of it, he showed me this Australian dude that did puppets, who's this guy, I don't know.
Oh, Randy Feltface?
I think that's him, right?
Yeah.
He like puts a puppet from the table.
Yeah, it's a purple one.
Yep.
And he's amazing.
He's insane. He's so talented. And I remember watching that and being like, I mean, yeah, it's a puppet, but like this is a stand-up.
It
for
is.
Sure, this is amazing. And I was like, okay, yeah, I need to like not be as like narrow-minded and like dumb, like because it's like you will miss out on things that you could do because of what? Principle? What?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
if it's not rooted in anything, just try things, you know? And so the first sketch I ever did was when Putin invaded Ukraine. And I did like a guy that's like, I was Putin, but I was just like just like a fucking, I don't know, hood dude that was like Putin. And I was just like, had my gun and like was like, yeah, like they're starving. I would just like tuck my chin in and be like, yeah, I don't know about them, but I'm starving too, you know. It's just hard, you know. It's hard out here, you know. And it's just like, yeah, I play that dictator, and like I really enjoyed making that. I was like, oh, this is fun to just like fuck around, just do takes and edit it all together. And then kind of just didn't do anything, and I felt like I just wasn't getting traction in stand up. Which is, you know, it's hard in New York. Like, no one gives a shit if you're good. That doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
You know? So then me and Grant had the idea for the White Friend Training video. And
I loved
we did that
video
one
so much.
Yeah.
It's such a fun one.
Thank you, dude.
The
Yeah.
spray bottle, I was just like, oh,
It was really fun.
Dude, you know what's
So
crazy?
good.
We shot that one like 3 times. We shot like 3 different occasions. And every time we look at it, we'd be like, nah, it's not doing it justice. We could do it better.
What made you think the one that you posted, was there a clincher that made you think, oh, this one is the right one?
Yeah, the pacing was good, and
Okay.
the punchlines and the ending. Grant was like, dude, just waterboard me. And I was like, you're really excited about this. He was like, I kind of want to be waterboarded. I was like, all right. and then waterboarded, and that was the one, like it went viral. And we were like, I was like, fuck, like, all right, it's one of those things where it's like, if you have momentum. If you just don't fuck it up, you can keep going and you can keep growing. And if you stop, then that's it. Then you'll just be like, oh, at one time I went viral, and then that's it. But if you can just fucking keep the pace, like you have something, you know, build it. And that's what it was. It was just like, all right, just mentally, I was just like, all right, no dating, no hanging out, nothing. Just focus on the videos right now. Just see how far you can go. And that's still currently where I'm at with it.
That's incredible.
I'm dating now,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Good.
That nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything, if anyone is interested in doing sort of what you do, are there any pitfalls or anything that you would tell yourself when you first started that you wish you knew then?
Yeah. I would say, like, for me, what helped me is like committing to myself like a schedule of like I will put out 3 a week, and I was like, that's the pace that I think I can keep up with that will help me optimally grow. Obviously, if you can post every day, like that's, you'll get more views, but like realistically, I mean, I do like sketches, so it's like it's kind of hard to like every single day have one. So I think committing yourself to a schedule is the biggest thing, and then like you can be I guess like accountable, where you're like, oh, I didn't post today, I need to post, I need to figure it out. That means tomorrow I got to shoot too, I got to figure it out. And it helps you prioritize things. Pitfalls, I think, is like trying to like copy what other people are doing. I think you can copy, like figure out why their things work, right? Like figure out like it took me to figure out like retention rate. What is that? Engagement, like figuring out like the biggest thing. A hook. That was the biggest thing. Is I was like, for a while you think about, oh, this is funnier than other sketches, and then you're like, oh no, I'm not comparing myself to other sketches. I'm competing against boobs, and that's fucking hard to compete against boobs.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you got.
They'll outrun you every time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's
and
like,
dogs and cats.
and
like
dogs,
honestly.
and cats, and like hood fights. Like that's a lot harder to compare.
Yeah.
Or just people breaking up soap.
Yes. Yeah. ASMR.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or people with actual talent, like cooking videos. Like you're
yeah.
competing against the entire internet.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta like really up it, and I think that made me like think of it in a more like serious, and like the first joke has to be good. It has to hook.
Yeah. I have to say I really like the the MTA training video.
Thank you.
I think that's my favorite. That one, like, people were sending to me being like, oh, this is so funny, and I was like, those are my friends.
Hell yes. Yeah.
It was awesome.
I got sent your videos as well by like a college friend. I was like, I know everyone in this.
That's the one video that I feel like made like I was like, oh, okay, like people in New York are like know who I am. Anytime if I ever get recognized, it's always the MTA video.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because it's like so New York specific, and people are like, yeah, you're the fucking MTA guy. Like, yeah.
Hell yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Well, we should get into our listener submissions because we have a couple doozies that we need your thoughts on.
Let's go.
Okay. I have it up right here. So,
yeah,
all right,
okay.
here's the three.
So basically, we give like advice or or bad advice or good advice
Let's go.
to these people.
All right, so, okay, my thing sent before I was done, but here we go. So, I think I'm in love with this guy who is kind of my ex, kind of not. For reference, we're both in high school.
High school? Whoa.
I genuinely have no idea where that
We
came
both have this.
We're both in high school, and he's a grade up from me. We were in a situationship a little bit over a year ago where we'd established that we were friends who liked each other, but not official, and this went on for like 3 months until we tried to define the relationship. Eventually, that didn't last long because he realized he didn't want that commitment, and we went back to what we were before. This lasted for about a month, then he ghosted me for about a month. But because of our social circles, I'd still see him, but it'd be awkward, or he'd avoid me type behavior. So, we're about 5-ish months of this going on, and then him and my close friend at the time start dating. My first reaction was I felt a little betrayed because she'd known about him and what I was feeling throughout this. But the weird thing about their relationship was she told me she'd break up with him if I wanted to date her. Wait, if he wanted to date her? Wait, I'm confused about this.
I'm assuming.
I.e.
Yeah, we're like lost.
I'm assuming if she wanted to date him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if I wanted to date her, I think the E is an accident.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but at first I just brushed it off.
She'd break
as a
up
joke.
with him if I wanted to date her. But at first, I just brushed it off as a joke until she kept getting more persistent to the point she'd like to try to kiss my neck. Oh, so it's like if she wanted.
Oh,
Okay.
shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a love triangle.
Wait,
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's time to be real.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I missed it. All right. I
Oh,
didn't
you
keep my
weren't in
face.
it.
I didn't keep my face in there for long enough.
Come on.
Well, I also look insane, so we have to redo it. Okay, cute.
Oh yeah.
I
wanted
feel
to-
disgusting
Yeah,
that
of
this
course.
is in the episode.
Yeah.
We're being real. If we did it after the episode, we would be fake.
Be fake. And you guys want us to be fake?
I
That's
would.
on you.
No, let's get back
So the
into
girl
it.
wanted to date her.
Yeah. So Yes. Until she kept getting more persistent to the point where she'd like kiss my neck or would straddle me and like took it too far given her relationship status. At this point, there's more dialogue between me and him, but too much to bring it up. Originally, I had a friend tell the situationship guy I knew she shouldn't do that to him because of our history. I didn't want him to think I was just jealous or something. He ends up talking to her and she mellows out for a while, but at this point, there is more comfortable dialogue between me and him where we start to fall into old patterns, which I never got completely over him, and I start catching feelings a little bit again, but don't act on them because of his girlfriend. Now, their relationship is about 2 months old, and she starts to hit me again and bring back the "we should date" type comments. I told her I'm not going to be a homewrecker, and now at this point, I talk to him about what she tells me, and he doesn't respond, but does end up talking to her. They date for a while, but she ultimately cheats on him, and they break up.
Wait, can we pause for a second? This person who's writing in, both people in the couple want to date this person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, you could have trimmed it up a little bit.
You could have.
You know?
This is very.
This is a novel.
This is a lot. Yeah. Okay. We're halfway through.
Dating. They were halfway.
They're halfway.
No shot. Jesus. All right, come on.
Oh my God. Yeah. This is. Yeah,
It's pretty long.
She wrote a
another one this
telenovela.
long. Okay. We should date. Okay. He doesn't respond, but he does end up talking to her. They date for a while, but ultimately she cheats on him and they break up. We go back to school and he starts flirting with me again. There's tension and attraction, but we don't talk about any of it. He's now dating this girl and they're both really sweet together, but they're both very awkward and like giving me middle school relationship. I love that a high schooler is like, oh my God, this is so middle school
So
of you.
middle school. Yeah. All of this is so hype. It's just like,
Yeah.
what? All right, come on.
Oh my
So
God,
this guy's now dating another girl.
Yeah, he's now dating this other girl. They're both really sweet together. They're both very awkward, giving middle school relationship. And then when we talk, it's always very magnetic, in my friend's words. The other day, he's sitting next to me and is like very playful and like messing with me about what she tells me, and he doesn't respond, but does end up talking to her. I don't understand what that sentence was at all.
I think a lot of this is in her head, by the way.
Yeah, I think
oh
so.
yeah.
It seems like a lot of this is like you're playing out a storyline in your head that you're just you want to perceive.
This is
Yeah.
why all kids should see a therapist.
Well, you know.
Lucas is like, we're like, let's give compassionate advice. Lucas is like, you're sick and you need help.
I'm like, you need someone to unwind this yarn.
Well,
that's what I'm thinking.
I do think this is also how I used to think in high school, right? Like any girl that talked to me, I'd be like, oh yeah, so this is how we're gonna start our relationship, and then like in 4 years,
absolutely.
Yeah,
we'll
we're
go to
gonna
college
get married.
together. Yeah. and
You
then-
spend so much time thinking about it because it's so new.
of course,
It's
everything's
such a new part of your brain that's gotten activated.
It's just a daydream constantly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, how's this end?
Oh yeah. So okay, no, we'll finish this. We're on the last bit. Okay.
Last paragraph.
So there's tension and attraction, but we don't. He's now dating this girl, and they're both really okay. Middle school, blah blah blah. The other day, he's sitting next to me and is very playful and like messing with me, and it's almost affectionately too. And I think he's definitely subconsciously doing this. At this point, I'm mostly over him, except in certain moments where I'm like, shit, okay, here we go again. But I just want to have a dialogue with him where we could get everything out there. I don't necessarily want a relationship, but I want to not feel all the tension and like history and don't know what to do. Send help.
I mean, transfer schools. I don't know.
Change your name, dye your hair,
Drop
move
a
to a
smoke
new
bomb
state.
and leave.
That's so. It's all this is in your head. It seems like
Yeah.
especially like here's the thing. I wouldn't normally say that, but because she wrote that much, it's like all these little details that are like, is that real or is that like you? Here's what it seems like. It seems like the guy might like you and he's kind of keeping you around because he's like, I don't know, maybe one day, kind of thing. Or it's like when it's convenient, he flirts with you, and when it's not, he doesn't. So it's like you got to decide whether you want to be that person, you want to play the like, being someone's maybe, or just find someone that fucks with you and just know for sure.
That's great advice.
That is
Yeah.
know your worth.
Yeah.
And
I will
respect
say
yourself.
he is
Yeah.
flirting with you.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
And if it's like, if you think that this is the guy for you, then maybe you linger because you're like, I don't know, maybe one day he'll change his mind. But to be honest, most people normally don't.
Yeah.
It's normally if this is what it's like now, it's not gonna in 10 years be like, you know what, I changed my mind.
For sure. It's
Yeah.
tough to know your worth at that age, though.
So hard.
It's so easy to sort of like get walked over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's so embarrassing too. Because you're like, you want the image. You know, it's the image of like me and him together, and everyone else in the school seeing us together. That's what
Yeah.
you want. You know. Then you become an adult and you're like, fucking, she's got both legs. Let's get it. You know, whatever. Let's get it popping. You know?
Momo hates amputees.
Canceled.
I used to ask people this question. You guys want to play this game?
What? Go on. Yeah.
What disability would you not hook up with?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Deleted.
What would you
Deleted.
be like? All right, one leg. Would you,
Okay, one disability I wouldn't hook up
I
with.
don't.
Too small of a heart.
aw,
Because the heart is the best part. Don't cancel me.
and small dick.
Yeah. Disability less than a 10-inch dick.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's going to be very alarmed when she hears
Oh, I forgot. God damn. I'm such an idiot.
a no-inch dick. Oh, you know what disability I'd never hook up with? A lesbian.
Sponsored
That's a
by
lie. Oh my god. Okay, I'm thinking of this as an idea for a sketch, like a meeting of like people with different disabilities, just to like share and talk about the trauma of what it's like to live. And there's one guy who's like, "Yeah, I got a tiny dick, man."
and everyone else feels bad for him.
Yeah.
They're like, this guy was like stage 4 cancer. He's like, damn, bro, that sucks. Like this
really
shit's pretty bad, but that, goddamn.
Oh my god.
There's a guy with no arms, and he's like, "You gotta get this small dick thing checked out."
Yeah. He's like, you know,
Whoa.
there's remedies now. You can really
Yeah, there's
look into-
operations you can get, man.
Yeah.
You should do something about it.
Yeah, it's just
They all make a GoFundMe to get this guy a bigger dick.
But they all donate to him. They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we've been saving up for like wheelchairs and prosthetic limbs and stuff. No, this takes priority.
yeah. They're like, how have you not killed yourself?
I'm embarrassed to know you.
Now
Yeah.
you both have to show me your dicks right now.
Yeah.
Make sure it's the right size.
Let's get it
gotta
poppin'.
do it,
Yeah,
yeah.
listen.
All right, no, pull
All
up.
right.
Let's do our second one.
We'll
Let's
do
our
a short one. A
short one. Good,
And
yes.
then we'll get into our final segment.
Yes, indeed.
Only half an
Um,
awful.
Hello, as a listener with no authority whatsoever, I have decided whoever brings up listener submissions is the host for the day. I think that was you. So you're
Oh,
the host
me?
for
Okay,
the
so
day.
I'm the host for the day. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Lucas and co-host. Anyway, that was something a listener wrote in once. Hello, Lucas and co-host. It made me laugh so hard.
It made me furious.
I loved
That's,
it.
that is internalized misogyny if I've ever seen
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Hey, Lucas and whatever.
It was
Lucas
like
and Wench.
when Danielle DeLudy posted for your birthday and she went, "He is famous, I am nice, it's a great dynamic." I was like, oh, that's me and Lucas. It was really cute. Anyway,
All right.
what is a childhood memory you have that you don't know why you have, as it has no impact on your life in any way, shape, or form? So like a super random childhood memory.
Oh, interesting. I remember like, I don't know why yo-yos were big in Sudan. Remember when like competitive yo-yoing was a thing?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That I remember like waiting outside of that store to buy yo-yos and like trying to practice tricks, like just fucking doing like the triangle in and out. I have no idea why, but that's a very vivid memory.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like, I think maybe a random one is like when my mom would take me into the women's bathroom and I like would get like looks of like a woman just doing a double take, but then just going, oh, okay. Just a lot
Yeah.
of those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
probably
that
has
had
an
no
impact.
impact.
though.
Yeah, it had
It does a little bit more, but it was the thing. It was one of the only times where I was a kid, but where I knew exactly everything that was going on.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
It was a moment where I was as aware of everything as the adults were.
Those are the moments that like you grow up in, you know? Like, where,
Yeah.
like, you immediately become an adult. You
Yeah, I was like,
figure-
oh yeah, I can't go to the bathroom on my own. I'm 4. Of course, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the self-realization. Girl, I'm 4.
Yeah.
I have my first memory ever was tie-dyeing shirts.
Whoa. Did you grow up like hippie?
Like kind of, I would say liberal. I wouldn't say hippie.
Okay.
My mom kind of actually hates hippies because she thinks they're like ugly.
Your mom hates ugly people?
Yeah.
Well, she wants to be like glam girl, so she's like, oh, they're all crunchy granola, and I don't vibe with it.
They do fucking love crunchy granola.
They do, but I guess like I did grow up like artsy. There's a lot of like theater and art, and I'm very very grateful for that.
Damn.
But tie-dyeing shirts, absolutely no influence on my life.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wouldn't go back to it?
Yeah, let's do it right now.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Tie-dye these corduroys.
Fuck yeah.
Can you tie dye corduroy?
Can now?
feel
I don't
with
wanna
enough
know.
Effort, you know?
I don't want to know.
You can tie-dye anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are coming towards the end of the episode, and we have our final segment, which is Self-Perception Corner. Momo, would you please say how you believe you are perceived by other people, and then we'll say how we actually perceive you.
People
I love
know
that
are
there's
strangers.
a haunting noise as this came up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait.
just a. That's my irradiator.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Wait.
doing
By
Morse
strangers
code.
or people I know?
People you know.
Oh, okay. Fuck. Funny, dickish, very satire. I don't know. I guess insecure, but also blindly confident. So they kind of like work in a dichotomy. And nice, mean well, but also say mean things. Pretty dumb. Pretty dumb. Yeah, busy.
Okay.
Yeah. What about by strangers?
Like on the street, I think, like just looking at me. I try to like put my hood up everywhere I go because I'm like, I don't want people to talk to me. I just want to like focus. So like I'll like especially at night, I'll just mean mug everyone and just walk down because I'm like, I don't want anyone to look at me. And I think it has worked. I mean, like, you know, it's like I'm a decent sized big black guy, so
Yeah.
it's like most people just
Yeah.
kind of leave you alone.
Yeah.
Which is nice. But also then when I go to like restaurants and stuff, like especially like nice places, it's kind of why I don't like going to nice places, is because like I'm like, you keep getting looks and shit, and it's like I don't need to deal with this. I can just go somewhere where like I'll belong. I feel
Yeah.
nice, you know. So yes.
Good on you, and good on
Yeah.
you for having people around you who like perceive you in a very positive way, like for who you
Yeah.
are, you know.
Thank
I
you.
would I would say you were mostly right with like how people know you, how I think a lot of people perceive you, because like you were a little bit self-deprecating, which is very charming, but you said like sort of like a little bit dumb and stuff. I don't see you as dumb in the slightest. I see you as someone who's like very driven, who pays very close attention to the environment around you and what succeeds and what doesn't, and building upon success, and like getting rid of behavior that doesn't work well. I see you as like just a very driven, your life seems like a very well-oiled machine that is only getting better.
That's not true, but I appreciate it. I do appreciate it.
Lucas is all about blowing smoke. I think you're terrible.
Only the first word. I'm
I
only
didn't
about
want
blowing.
you on the podcast.
Lucas begged for you. He was like, please.
Yeah.
Thank
Gabby, stop being opposed to black people coming on the podcast. Jesus Christ, Gabby.
Silence.
Let
black
one
voices.
on.
It's still Black History Month, Gabby.
Yeah. You can't do apartheid again. We had one shot.
But it's my dream. Just for, it's Black History Month for 10 more days.
Yep.
Well,
Till the nightmare's over.
then we can get back to Women's
Then
Month.
guess
who the
There's
fuck
no
is-
black women in the world. None. Well, I think you're very smart as well. I think people confuse happy-go-lucky with dumb, but I think it's nice to be. I think it's smart to be dumb. Because
Yeah.
to walk around the world observing is so much better than to walk around the world being like, I know this place.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
People like that suck so much.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that you're not like that. I can tell you're like curious and inquisitive and interested.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I think it's cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think I'm curious. Yeah. I like to learn.
Yeah. What have you learned from this podcast?
I remembered that, I learned that you're South African.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Now
cool.
you'll never see me the same.
No, I won't. And after this, I will be immediately running out. And
I'm
telling
holding in
everyone-
my vomit just
I will
knowing
tell
this about
everyone in the comedy world, Gabby South African.
Yeah. Don't book her.
Technically, she's African. You need a woman, and she's African. Fucking get her on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
get her. Okay, yeah, it's the opposite way. It's like she's.
Yeah.
you'll
Book
just be
Gabby,
like,
it's
she's
Black History Month.
African-American. She's African American.
Yeah. Our next comic, the best comic in Africa. Give it up, Gabby Brown. And then
Good.
your first
The
bit
next
is like,
Trevor Noah, Gabby.
yeah. Technically, I'm African American, so technically, guess who could say it?
I just say the word for 5 minutes.
Yeah. The whole crowd, it's like one of those bits where it's like, you got to let it, it's going to bomb up top, but then once you keep going, people are going to buy in. All right? And once they buy in, that's when you're in.
I'm submitting it to JFL. Let's
Yeah.
see what happens. Let's
You're
see.
like, oh, I thought y'all wanted different voices. I thought that's what you wanted. Be about it.
Diversity.
Yeah.
Well, you have been amazing. Where can people find you and your awesome sketches and stand-ups?
Alora Momo, all or a Momo on everything. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Yeah, and I have a show called Garlic Renaissance every other Wednesday. Easy Lover. March 1st is the first next one. I don't know when this is coming, but
Amazing, yeah.
yeah, hell yeah.
This will come out in like 2 weeks, I think. But yeah.
Okay, then March 1st or 15th, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Sick.
Beautiful. You can follow me at Lucas T. Arnold on all social media. Please also subscribe to my mailing list. I'm trying to gather information about where people are in the world, where I can eventually do some stand-up dates near you. It would help me out a lot if you could sign up for that, and I'd love to see you in the near future. Yeah.
I have shows in March, and I also I continue to build my dynasty in MVP Baseball 2005. Right now I'm on the year 2006. The landscape in baseball is very different in that season, and I'll let you guys know how my season goes in a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I also have a couple shows. Next week, I'm going up to Philly to visit my buddy Josh, who's been a previous guest on the podcast. I'm going to visit him. Can't wait to talk all about it on a future episode. But then the following week, I'm judging Roasted at Grove 34. Looking forward to that. And then I'm doing a show at Broadway Comedy Club the following day. Ooh. And then I believe later on in March, I have something. But yeah, no, I'll post about that and share on my website and stuff. But yes, Momo, you've been an amazing guest.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
so
having me.
much.
Thank you, and thank you, listeners, for joining this journey.
Indeed. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.